Before getting into running, I had this general feeling toward it, like who in their right mind would want to go out and run by choice? It seemed like such an unpleasant task. Yet, in the back of my mind, I always had this understanding that training cardio was incredibly important, and running seemed like such a great way to achieve that, so I decided to give it a try. I went in with the expectation that, best case scenario, I'd manage to tolerate pushing through a couple runs a week. Never did I expect that I would fall in love with running the way that I have. Never did I think that what at the surface appears to be just another cardio exercise could be such a grounding experience and such a great way to clear the mind. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 steps that have helped me learn to love running, with the hope that they can be beneficial to you on your journey as well. Step 1, run outdoors. If you've ever run indoors on a treadmill, you may find it to be incredibly boring. You're staring at the same screen with your metrics the entire time. You're inside under artificial light. There's a lot of commotion going on around you within the gym and the other people working out there. Whereas if you take your run outdoors, you may find that it is much more inspiring, much more exciting. You're not running in a stagnant, stationary environment. Instead, you have the changing landscape in front of you as you run. You get to experience nature. You get the warmth of the sun shining on you as you're progressing through your run. You get to see birds and squirrels. Depending on where you live, you may even see bunnies and lizards. I have found that running outdoors just makes me so much more relaxed in the process. I find that it is very similar in a lot of ways to doing a meditation, where I get this alone time out in nature. I'm alone with my thoughts, and I have this dedicated space to just focus on me and to focus on what's directly around me, to be present in my environment. Step 2, focus on pace and breathing. When I first started running, I would kick off the run going as fast as I could. I'd have all of this excitement and inspiration and energy, and I would run at that pace, typically for a very short distance, until I burned out. At that point, I'd have to slow down all the way to a walk. Once I caught my breath again, I'd start sprinting again, and each time I started a new sprint, it was for a shorter and shorter duration. This just left me feeling completely wiped out throughout the majority of the run, and I didn't feel like I was making any progress. What helped me overcome this struggle was to simply slow the pace down. I started to view the objective as making it through the entire run without ever having to slow down to a walk. Running at a slower pace and sustaining that pace through the duration of the run allows me to manage my energy levels so much better. I don't feel like I'm going through all of these massive peaks and valleys and ups and downs throughout the run. Instead, I get into this flow state where I can just maintain it for the rest of the run. Coupled with the pace, I also focus on my breathing and just trying to keep it consistent. That way, I'm not constantly getting out of breath and gasping for air. Instead, I try to view it as like a well-oiled machine that's just moving at a constant rate. These two things have made the process of running so much more enjoyable, so much more manageable, and that makes me more likely to want to run. So if you're just getting into running, even though it may seem counterintuitive, it may be best to start off slower than you think that you might need to. But the idea is to get to a point where you're comfortable with that, and then you can go in one of two directions. You can either increase the distance and find a way to maintain that pace for a longer distance, or you can keep the distance constant and increase the pace and cover the same amount of ground at a quicker speed. Step 3, curate sound. Sound is one of the things that gets to accompany you throughout your run. And I have found that there are really 3 options that you'll want to experiment with and see what works best for you. The first sound option, which is likely the most popular, is music. And you may even want to take this a step further by curating a playlist of songs that specifically fit the vibe you're looking for while you're running. This could be something more upbeat, or this could be something more relaxed. The second sound option, which is one of my personal favorites, is listening to a podcast while you run. This could be educational or it could be entertaining, but sometimes just having people speaking as you're going through your run might be something that works well for you. And then sound option 3 is to just enjoy the sounds of nature, the sounds of being outside. So not bringing any headphones or playing anything through your phone allows you to just be absorbed in the environment through which you're running. This is something that David Goggins, who is an incredibly successful runner, talks about doing when he runs. Step 4, dial in your running gear. I have found it incredibly helpful to have gear that makes you excited to go run. So a very obvious choice would be some sort of wearable running tracker. A really common one being an Apple Watch, maybe a Fitbit, a Garmin GPS running watch. This is something that can actively track your metrics as you're running, that you can be glancing at throughout your run to see your pace that you're running at, to track your heart rate, to see the distance that you've traveled. This is something that can keep you motivated and excited throughout the run. Not to mention, having that data allows you to be a lot more objective about the progress that you're making as a runner. Other gear that can make you excited about running would be the outfit that you're going to wear. So maybe going out and selecting shirts and shorts that you feel confident in the way that you look when you're wearing them. Maybe it's picking out running shoes that are the best fit for your foot and that give you the support that you need throughout the run. Anything that can create excitement around the activity of running can increase the likelihood that you actually go out and do the running. Step 5, run for a reason. While I have certainly found running in and of itself to be enjoyable, and for the enjoyment that I derive from it to be enough to encourage me to keep running week after week, having a goal, a reason why you're running, can really help increase your inspiration for it. A really common example of this is to schedule an upcoming race, whether that's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or a full marathon. A lot of people seem to gain a lot of excitement and inspiration to run and to train at running when they have an upcoming race, when they have some sort of long-term goal that they're trying to achieve. Another common reason that people get into running is running for a great cause. So whether that be to raise awareness for something that's meaningful to you, to raise money toward somebody who is in need, having a cause and a purpose behind your running can really help you feel inspired, and it can also help you keep accountable because you don't want to let those people or those causes down. You don't want to fail the goal that you've set out for yourself. But an equally inspiring reason to run is simply to link the activity of running toward your long-term purpose, toward your long-term mission. So it's obviously agreed upon that running can help your physical health. I am a big believer that it can help your mental health as well. And so knowing that means that it can increase the likelihood that you have longevity, that you have a longer life to live out your mission. It can give you more energy and more vitality, and that can help you live out your mission more thoroughly. So keeping that long-term why in mind can help the day-to-day tasks of something like running feel more meaningful. So those are 5 steps that have helped me fall in love with running. I have found that it is something I now crave. When I go extended periods of time without running, I have this strong desire to get back out there. It becomes something that I start to miss. I would have thought that it was crazy if you had told me that I would one day crave running before I had gotten into it, but it's just something that feels so good during the run and after the run. I have found that not only has it helped with my physical health, but it has allowed me to have a practice that can clear my mind whenever I might be stressed with things going on in work or other areas of life. Going out for a run, being outside in the sun and in nature, and having that alone time is just such a great way to relax, to clear the mind, to process thoughts. And I find that I come back into the house just feeling much more grounded and present. I hope these steps can be helpful to you on your journey. And what I would ask is that if you have any additional tips that have helped you with running, it would be awesome if you could share those below. That way myself and everybody else watching can benefit from them. If you have any follow-up questions, please let me know. As always, thanks so much for tuning in and watching the video. It's greatly appreciated, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.